Saudações, bem-vindo e distorção a Portuguese episódio 3, and welcome back to Portuguese Distortion, episode number 3. I want to thank all of you who've checked out the first couple of episodes for making this far more successful than I'd expected it to be when I first started doing this, in collaboration with the guys and gals from Portuguese Distortion. This is a lot of fun. I get to discover plenty of bands that I've never heard of, and we get to share bands that some people have never heard of that are in Portugal and the rest of the world. It's wonderful, and I truly appreciate all the support. I don't have a lot of breaking news for the Portuguese metal scene this week. If there's something going on that you want me to talk about before we get into the videos in next week's episode or any future episodes, please let me or the guys and gals at Portuguese Distortion know so I can make sure to mention it in the following episode. We've got kind of an old school feel going on to this week. Got some of the senior bands from the Portuguese scene, several of whom started in the late 80s and early 90s, to include the mighty Sacred Sin. Every band on this week's episode has been requested either by a viewer or, in the case of the last band, by the band themselves. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I've heard one of the 4 bands we have on, or one of the 5 bands we have on tap today. And of course, that band being the mighty Sacred Sin. So, let's take a look at what we have. First band we've got going on is the band Invoke. The track is going to be Hall of Mirrors. This was requested by Pedro Marquez. Been around since 1996. Their first record, Somnium Paradox, came out last year. I know they're supposed to be old school black metal, and I haven't done a ton of black metal on the channel. I'm certainly picky about what I listen to in the black metal genre, so I'm looking forward to this. The band is Invoke, the track is Hall of Mirrors, and here we go. And we start going right out the gate. Really enjoyable, familiar black metal riffing here. Great vocals. Really like the tone of this guy's voice. That vocal layering is really cool. It's got almost a death metal feel to it in a way. Has a bit of an Immortal feel, kind of around that Battle Beasts era, a little bit thrashier. I love the fact that for a black metal band, it's well produced and it's well mixed. Drummer's an absolute monster. Love that massive wall of noise coming from the guitars, bass, and the drums together. Huh, that's an interesting vocal touch. Don't expect that out of black metal. That's awesome. Really like that vocal texture. kind of dated effect on the video, like it was used as stressed tape. I like that change. Cymbal work, their drummer's doing awesome. I like that little tapping that he's doing. It's some of the intricate little things he's doing guitar-wise. I like those guitar harmonies, those little lead lines. There's some really interesting little guitar things going on kind of in the background. Little harmonies and accents. Make you really want to focus on it and figure out what all's going on. This is a track that's already really good, but the more I listen to it, it's going to grow. Like that drop out, those atmospheric textures. Get a little of that symphonic black metal feel in there. I like those clean textures there. The constant strobing might be a bit rough for some people, especially if they've got issues with motion sickness or epilepsy. But the track is spectacular. Almost reminds me a little bit of OJ from Byzantine and some of those vocals. Wow. All right. That was Invoke and the track Hall of Mirrors, requested by Pedro Marquez. That was friggin' outstanding. That was a really, really, really strong black metal track. I love it because it's instantly accessible. I know that's a taboo thing to say about a black metal band, that it's accessible, but it is. It's got a great feel to it. Some of those riffs are familiar. Some of them are not. Some of them aren't typical, and I had a couple of moments from listening to different textures, and I was surprised, and I really enjoyed it. That feeling of surprise and going, hey, I didn't expect that, or I didn't expect some of those vocal textures, I didn't expect the cleans. At first it sounded like it was going to be old school black metal, and you were going to get that Immortal-like feel in a lot of it, but they brought the symphonic elements in. Had some really cool guitar accents going on. Nice little solo, kind of slightly dropped back in the background. And honestly, I don't mind that it was back there a little bit, adding more of an accent as opposed to taking its place center in the mix when it happened. But that was fantastic. I certainly want to hear more from these guys. That was really, really enjoyable. And like I said, I'm really picky about my black metal. And I don't necessarily love a lot of it. It's really, I'm really particular, and this is outstanding. Gentlemen, you guys released a great track. I cannot wait to hear more of your record. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm very happy that I got a chance to check you guys out. So, that was Invoke. The second track we've got up today is Monolith Moon. They were formed in 2009. This was requested by... I'm probably going to mess up your name, but it's Doigo Ferreira. So, their only release so far is 2015's EP Ley Lines. The track we're checking out is Degeneration. And let's get into it. The band is Monolith Moon. The track is Degeneration. And here we go. Really nice progressive feel of this. I like those riffs a lot. I like how clean that bass tone sounds. Really like those guitar lines. Get a bit of Dream Theater-like feel in those keyboard textures. Whoa! Didn't expect a female vocal there. Really like her voice. I wish it was a touch higher in the mix. Really nice vocal melody, and her voice sounds incredible. I like the shift. Would have liked if it was led with a fill. Good fills there. Now I'm getting it. Definitely has a very heavy Dream Theater influence.
It's a stratified style trail, formulating back an individual. Until the link splits apart.
Wow, I like that shift. I like where she's going vocally. Cool, that was a great change. Great little cymbal accents.
The purpose is so hard.
Love this groove here. I love the way the bass is locking in with the guitars. That shift to a palm muting. Outstanding keyboard solo. Love how the guitar came in there. I like his choices in phrasing here.
Enclosed inside our barricade, logic belongs irresistible and soon. Alongside hostility, this automation builds, sustains its
I like that timing. Keyboard pass, it definitely has a very Jordan Rudess-like feel. Alright, that was Monolith Moon. The track was Degeneration. That was a really cool prog track. I didn't realize it was going to be a prog track. And that was really enjoyable. I really don't know how to pronounce the name because I'm still learning Portuguese. I'm getting to the point where at least basic stuff is down to a small car wreck as far as opposed to a train wreck. So I'm just going to call you D Ferreira. D, I truly appreciate the request. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that. I'm a sucker for Dream Theater and a lot of that style of prog. Her voice really stands out. And you do get a lot of the Dream Theater influence, and if you're familiar with Dream Theater, you're going to pick up on a lot of that. But I like their shifts. I like their choices. I like how they wrote it. And some of those melodies and changes were really awesome. And I'd love to hear her do more stuff because I really, really enjoy her voice. The whole band is very talented. I liked the drum things going on. It was mixed pretty solid. I would have liked to hear her voice up just a touch more. And maybe the cymbals a little higher. But personal taste here. And it was a really enjoyable one to listen to. Though I have to be honest, so far, that first track from Invoke is going to be a tough one to overcome. That was really, really good. So, the next one we have today is Extreme Unction. The track is Band Heritage. It's requested by Silencio das Palavras. Apparently it means Silence of the Woods, so we're just going to call you Silence or Woods. The band's been around since 1990 as Extreme Unction, but it's been around since 87 in a different name. The track we're getting into is off their latest release. Last Sacrament came out in 2015. I love that we are getting into some of the older school, elder statesmen of the Portuguese scene, if you will. So, let's go ahead and get into this. The band is Extreme Unction. The track is Band Heritage. Going out to Silence. And here we go. Yeah, this is going to be a nice old school feel to it. Get a bit of that old school black metal-like feel. I like that shift. Great riff here. I like how that harmony lines follow with the vocal melody. This is just enjoyable. It's nostalgic. Such a great old school feel to it. This is a Doom-like feel, old school Doom-like feel, the way this is going here. Love that harmony. Great guitar line. Love how he opens the solo with these big bends. That slow as molasses, like feel the riff, bluesy like lead licks here. Nice little bit of back vocals there. His voice, while it's not completely similar, it reminds me a bit of the Abbott-like delivery from a more kind of shouted, almost croaked, choked vocal. It's almost like you're listening to someone tell a story. I love how everything in that chorus starts to follow that vocal melody. That's a great touch. It's so old school. It's so nostalgic. It just feels good. if you're a fan of that style, that doomish, black metalish cross, and you love bands that have been doing it old school, then there's no reason you should not like this. That was Extreme Unction. The track was band Heritage, requested by Silence in the Woods. And I appreciate that one, brother. It really does scratch that old school itch. And it's a really strong track. It's a familiar track. The nostalgia is there. And it should be in a way, because these guys have been doing it for so long. It's nice to hear bands that have stayed true to what they're doing. And I really enjoy that. Reminds me of coming up in getting familiar with extreme metal in my early teens. I guess the development of extreme metal for me really started happening about 9, 10, 11. And really finding my way through the early extreme metal, black and death metal movements. And that just felt good. It was a great track for what it is, and I truly enjoyed it. Speaking of old school, Sacred Sin, Vipers, Arise from the Underground. This one was requested by my very good friend, Joanna Rodriguez, who's been so supportive of what I do here and has been great at helping me navigate and learn so much about the Portuguese scene. This is coming off their 2017 record, Grotesque, Destructo Art. It is the first track off the record. Now, I have listened to most of the record. I have not listened to this track. I know they were going for an old school, early death metal vibe, and I certainly believe from what I've heard so far that they have attained that. Got to give it to these guys for pushing as hard as they have for so long, for being the first band from Portugal, as far as I know, that has made it onto MTV and has been carrying the torch. All the guys from the band that I've interacted with have been awesome. And they seem to be incredibly well respected in the scene, and it's a pleasure to do more from them. So I'm looking forward to this. The band is Sacred Sin. The track is Vipers Rise from the Underground. Gonna be a quick one, and here we go. Oh yeah. That old school analog death metal sound reminds me a bit of really early Deceased. Love those harmonies. It's really, really strong riff, strong harmonies there. Video even reminds me of early Deceased, something I'd expect off of Luck of the Corpse. Love that drum sound. That's real drums, my friend, and it sounds awesome. Love that buzzy guitar tone. Everything about this screams late 80s, early 90s death metal. Down to from the souling tones. Oh, warms my heart. Great fills coming out of that. Look how melodic that harmony is. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Oh, that's awesome. That was Sacred Sin. Vipers rise from the underground. What do you say? It's just awesome, enjoyable, nostalgic, old school, late 80s, early 90s death metal in that raw form. If you didn't know it was recorded in 2017, you might think they recorded it back in the early days, that it was lost tracks from their first record. It's a really well mixed and produced record, because with today's modern production and capabilities, it's difficult to get that old school analog reel-to-reel sound out of a recording, and this just sounds like it was recorded that way. I'm in love. It's a great track. I know it's the lead-off track to the record, and I've heard all but a couple of tracks on it, and it's a ridiculously strong track to lead an album with. Gentlemen, this made me very, very happy. It really did. Of course, I also have to show some love to the lead singer and guitar player for such a stylish haircut. I mean, I appreciate your choices, my bald brother. But all jokes aside, that was a great track. Joanna, thank you. I know you've been wanting me to do more of the guys from Sacred Sin, and I'm certainly glad I was able to do it, and I was able to do it here, kind of a more of an old school feel to this episode of Portuguese Distortion. And that was fun. The last and final track on our installment today is the band Blood of the Tyrants, new band formed in July of 2016. Apparently they're going to be playing their first show soon, and they don't have a lot of stuff out. And I want to apologize to Ruben Marquez. He actually contacted me in March wanting me to do the track, and I was in the middle of doing album reaction or full albums all month, and I didn't get to it. And I do apologize about that, my friend. I'm happy I'm getting to it now. I'm happy you guys are finishing out this episode. So let's get some new blood to close out the old school. The band is Blood of Tyrants. The track is Human Waste. And here we go. Love those guitar tones. Nice breakup. Nice thumpy kick. And this almost reminds me of old school Entombed and Grave. Just that heavy, plodding, bass heavy tone. Really like those vocals. Such a great groove, you just can't help but move your head. I like the way that riff changed. Nice shift with the drumming as well. I like that guitar accent a lot. That was a cool shift. I like how that riff's evolved a bit. Excuse me. Got some really strong riffs here. Nice. Like that lead tone. Got a dot bondage. And we get dogfighting guitar solos. Love how venomous that vocal delivery is. Oh, that's over already. That sucks. That was awesome. That was a fantastic track. That was the Blood of Tyrants and the track Human Waste. And that, unfortunately, my friends, takes us to the end of this week's episode of Portuguese Distortion. And what a way to end it. Ruben, my friend, I am truly sorry that it has taken me a little over a month to get to doing this for you, but I'm happy it's here, and I'm certainly happy that it has closed out a phenomenal episode of killer metal. This whole episode, other than the second track from Monolith Moon, was just filled with extreme, heavy, raw sounding stuff. You guys might be a new band, but you got an old school sound with some new school twists, and I loved it. Loved the vocals, loved that riff work, loved how throaty and rumbly that bass is, and how that guitars just sit right on top of the bass. It's so forward, and it's great to hear that sound. Lyrically, it was very powerful. And honestly, I like the fact that it sounds like an old school record. I like that slight muddiness to the production. I like that breakup and a little muddiness to the guitars. It just fits what you're trying to do. And I dig it. That was a great track. You know, this week, more than the past two, I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick which tracks I like the most. These were all really, really strong. They all had the things about them that I absolutely loved. Love the new school meets old school black metal feel of Invoke. Loved that same feel with a bit different execution with a bit of those doom metal elements mixed in from Extreme Unction. Those doom elements together with the black metal really just made me smile. Love how nostalgic it was. The first and the third track, but the black metal track, the Invoke and the Extreme Unction were awesome, and I really enjoyed those. I liked the break in between the two with Monolith, Moon, and Degeneration, that very Dream Theater-like sound. Sacred Sin, well, what do you say about them? Other than they're a phenomenal band, they've been doing this a long time, and they continue to deliver records and tracks that you know are going to be good. It's clearly, if you're a fan of that stuff and you're a fan of Sacred Sin, it's an auto buy. It's, oh, they've got a new record out, let me go pick it up. Just awesome stuff. I certainly hope for good things to come from you guys in the future once again. And Blood of Tyrants closing that out. Just an excellent track. This was a very well put together playlist. I want to thank Daniel and Joanna from Portuguese Distortion for continuing to do this with me every week and to allow me to do this for all of you. They do some really hard work, some very diligent work of putting these playlists together and trying to make sure there's a good flow to what's going on and what I'm doing here. And they do the hard work. I just get a chance to check out each track and give my opinions. They're doing the legwork and keeping track of your requests and doing an amazing job. I'm so thankful for this partnership. So thank you guys. So if you have any suggestions for future episodes, stuff you want me to do, as always, let them know. Let me know. Have anything you want me to talk about? Topics going on in the Portuguese scene, festivals coming up, that kind of thing. Let me know, and I will mention that in the beginning of the episode. Any fun anecdotes? I could do some of those too. And let me know what you think of the format. If you want me to change things up a little bit or you're happy with it. You know, as this grows and continues, I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the best thing that I can. So thank all of you. I love you. I truly appreciate the incredible support. This is just a joy to do. And I'm so happy for the opportunity. I want to thank all of my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders all across the world for what you do. It means the world to me. It truly does. You have been awesome. I have been Bald Man. I will see you wonderful folks next week in episode number 4. Be excellent to each other and keep headbanging.